The title of our article is Literacy Influences Understanding of Speech, and our key word is speech. What is the topic of our current event article? Our topics are how does handwriting influence how we process speech, as well as how we process different languages with different systems. This includes alphabetic systems of language, which are languages with consonants and vowels, and non-alphabetic systems, which are languages without consonants and vowels, like countries like the Middle East, East Africa, and Asia. In the study, the Netherlands and Northern Indian researchers played recorded sentences in Hindi to two groups of study participants, people who could read and write and people who were illiterate. The participants' brain patterns were monitored at the same time of the study. What do we think the author's purpose for writing the article or current events piece? The author's finding in the article were there is no link between literacy and auditory understanding. The researchers also found evidence that people who can read and write in Hindi had improved connections in the brain between graphomotor side of the brain, which is responsible for handwriting, and the part of the brain that processes speech sounds, or the auditory phonetic brain. How do the facts in the article compare to what we learned in class? In lectures, we learned about Broca's area found in the frontal lobe and Wernicke's area found in the temporal lobe, and the supramarginal gyrus found in the parietal lobe. These parts of the brain have to do with expressing and comprehending language and phonological processing.
How might the current events article impact how the general public views the topic? This brings awareness to how people may process language differently. Of course, each of us understand and process language in the same way as the human brain processes language. However, we are all unique and learn differently. It also discusses how different parts of the world have different handwriting techniques. This is attention grabbing to much of the public, as it illustrates how something as universal as communication and language can vary across the world. Is this article sound and valid? We believe that this is a great example of an article that is not sound and valid. This article was published on a .com website that is heavy on advertising other stories. A .gov or .edu website is always a more reliable way to go over any .com source. This article was published using a website that seems to be heavy on advertising. This is a red flag because the site is more motivated by making money than they are by spreading reliable facts. The citation for this article is through Wikipedia. As we know, Wikipedia is incredibly unreliable as it can be edited by anyone at any time. This event is also associated with several social media links such as Twitter and Facebook. Social sharing apps are not a great way to spread reliable information. Did the author accurately interpret scientific information in their article? This article does not cite, show, or even discuss scientific data. Instead, it references an alternative article found on Wikipedia. The data cited in the Wikipedia article is not accurate or reliable. Who is to say the information on that page is even what the original study found? There's a good chance this data was tampered with. Because we chose to present an unreliable article, we also decided to include an article covering a similar topic that is a sound and valid article. This article was found on a .gov website specifically for medicine and biotechnology. It references PubMed several times, includes sets of scientific data, and is not found on an advertising website. This article is a research experiment as opposed to a current event. However, it is still a good example of a valid article and discusses validity. As always, though, make sure to thoroughly assess any article and remain cautious when reviewing. And here's our works cited page.